My name is Inbar, and I'm a parent of 3 children, 2 currently enrolled in the Mountain Englishtown Regional School District. My oldest is in 7th grade, and my middle is in 4th. It has been 4 years since I heard the terms Common Core State Standards and PARCC. After 2 years of my oldest doing well in school, suddenly there was a major shift in what he was learning and how he was learning it. At first I was confused, so I looked into it myself. Then I became concerned, and I approached my school principal looking for answers. After a workshop on Common Core and PARCC, I became angry. I began using social media to educate and inform others about what I had learned, and soon came to realize that I was not alone. I stand before you today as the angry white suburban mom. Secretary of Education Arne Duncan referencing his now famous statement. However, while many are offended by the statement, I find it empowering. I am the angry, educated mom. I am angry that the state of New Jersey, in an ill-contrived effort to gain Race to the Top funds, agreed to adopt standards sight unseen. I am angry because despite the fact that 500 pediatricians, researchers, and psychologists said these standards were bad for early childhood in a statement on March 2nd, 2010, the state boards of education still adopted them. I am angry because these standards are untested and not benchmarked. I am angry because the 2 foremost experts in their fields, Dr. Stotsky and Dr. Milgram, refused to sign off on these standards, and despite their testimony as to why they chose not to validate these standards, they were adopted regardless. Dr. Stotsky states the ALA standards are skills. They are not standards. They have almost no content. The standards cannot prepare students for college coursework. I am angry that many administrators who are mandating the PARCC test do not have children in the public school system. Their children are safely ensconced in private schools where they are not subjected to the Common Core standard or its aligned PARCC testing. I am a strong believer in practicing what you preach. I want my kids to read so they see me reading. I want my kids to realize that texting while driving is dangerous, so I don't do it myself. Why then are education and state leaders not practicing what they preach by sending their kids to private schools while public school kids are subjected to countless hours of test prep and monotonous teaching to a scripted curricula? Don't our children deserve the same education and the same experiences as those in private school? I am angry that not every person sitting before me today has taken a PARCC test. How can you evaluate and promote this test without having taken it yourselves? PARCC is a poorly designed and confusing setup to make students fail. Cut scores, which classify and sort students by test performance, will not be determined until after this year's administration of the test. These cut scores, sometimes designed to produce high rates of failure, create an urgency that undermines local control and forcefully imposes unproven reforms across the state and the nation. I am angry that anyone would think it is right or fair to assess a 3rd or 4th grader on college and career readiness. The United States is trying to emulate other countries' educational systems. However, we fail to realize that many of those countries are reassessing their own systems. France, for example, is reassessing the highly centralized education system because it doesn't meet the needs of an increasingly diverse immigrant population. Many other countries, such as China, Israel, and Sweden, are moving from a centralized to a decentralized system of governance. In addition, no evidence supports the contention that organizational structure, whether centralized or decentralized, bears any relationship to academic achievement or the ability to compete in the global economy. In Japanese public schools, elementary and lower secondary students do not take high-stake tests, nor are they assigned to schools by achievement. The examination pressures begin between lower and upper secondary school. Japan is attempting to increase the flexibility of the learning environment to cultivate its people with rich humanity and rich creativity by letting individual abilities grow. One component of this reform has been to reduce the school week from 6 days to 5 to give students more time to explore nature and participate in community-based activities. In the U.S., we have drastically reduced recess in the effort to add even 20 more minutes of test prep time. Field trips in many schools don't exist. Even adults in the workplace are given time off during the workday. Taking crucial playtime away from the youngest of children in the interest of test prep is reprehensible and counterintuitive. New Jersey requires its 4th and 8th grade students to take the NJS exam in science. However, science, like social studies, is taking a backseat to math and English language arts. We are encouraging students to attend STEM colleges and universities and to look at careers in those fields, yet we are taking away so much learning time from that subject. In my district, our students have only a half a year of science and social studies, yet they are expected to pass a test. The NJS will be administered only a few days after the end-of-year PARCC exam, leaving these kids barely any time to review 4 years' worth of material. And what happens to social studies? Is learning about our country, our Constitution, the world around us that we are expecting our kids to compete in not important? What if your child aspires to be a lawyer, a teacher, a journalist? Isn't having a well-rounded education that encompasses all areas of study equally important? Yet we emphasize and drill our students ad nauseum in math and language arts while other subjects are shelved. The stress and focus of the PARCC test is giving way to the demise of teacher-based assessments that parents are ultimately interested in. I oppose teaching to the test. Education is much broader than what can be tested on a standardized test. Children learn all year long. They are tested by their teachers on a regular basis. Their teachers, the ones that spend 6+ hours a day with them, understand how they learn, know their strengths and weaknesses, and can assess their academic progress and shortcomings better than any fill-in-the-bubble test ever can. Many schools are eliminating midterms and finals, teacher assessments that actually test the content of what a child is learning, for computerized tests that are riddles wrapped up in an enigma, where answers are so obscure you are left frustrated. Children are developing anxiety disorders and seeking professional help to deal with issues of test anxiety, low self-esteem and self-confidence, and feelings of failure. This is not what our educational system was set up to do. At the rate we are going, so many of our students will be burned out by high school that the dropout rate, and by extension, the unemployment rate, will skyrocket. Our children deserve a better education than simply filling in bubbles or taking tests for hours and days on end. Our teachers deserve to do what they do best: teach in creative, innovative ways, inspire creativity, motivate, encourage out-of-the-box thinking, and develop a love of learning so that our children will strive for success. Thank you.